Hi everybody, Tim Emerson of Kuan Yin Healing, and it's actually April, but as you can see, winter decided to stick it out a little better. But I wanted to talk outside because today I want to talk about raising vibration. When people talk about spiritual progress and healing, we often hear this term, I want to raise my vibration. But what does that mean? Very often people talk about it like they want to escape from the physical world, right? Like the physical world is bad and we need to rise above it if we want to be spiritual or healed or anything like that. Now, first of all, just take a look around. This doesn't look so bad to me. What we really mean is that often there's not a sufficient awareness, okay, of our levels of being. And what people mean when they say I want to raise my vibration is that I want to raise my consciousness to an awareness of these higher planes. If you literally just raise your vibration, you'd vaporize, okay? So let me put this in practical terms that aren't so mystical that maybe we can better understand. Let's start with what we know, what we trust about science, what we've all learned. The electromagnetic spectrum, for example, okay? So we know that we have color and sound and electricity and magnetism and airwaves, television, radio, gamma rays, infrared. All these are part of exactly the same thing, the electromagnetic spectrum. So literally, color and sound and magnetism and gamma rays and radio and TV are all part of the same thing. They're all one, literally. Literally, they're all electromagnetic frequencies. And it's simply a change of frequency to one to the other. This is what levels of being are like. We think for states of matter. Let's look at just the physical world. This is the lowest level, okay? Meaning it's the slowest of the vibrations. In the physical world, we have solids, we have liquids, we have ice, to liquid, to gases. You probably at some point seen somewhere, you superheat gases, you get plasma, this electricity looking like thing. We're still in the physical realm, okay? We go from there to the etheric body, the super etheric. I'm sure you've all heard of, for example, amputees who, they lose a limb and they can still feel it. That etheric part of their body is still there. And we're still in the physical realm, okay? Just the physical realm. Your physical body is amazingly smart. I'm sure this has happened to you where, something happened suddenly and there's just a reaction that's all over, and only later does your mind start to figure out what happened. Your body is so smart. It is so smart. Do not underestimate this intelligence. Honor it. It is very much an important part of who we are. So, the physical level. This is the lowest level, meaning it's the slowest level. Now, this we go from there to up to the emotional level, okay? What most people call the astral plane. Sometimes in like medieval writing, people who are into Wicca, not so much Wicca, but magic, we talk about the astral plane as a very scary place. It's not that. It's just that it's just an emotional place. Things happen rapidly. Things happen emotionally. And we tend to identify with our emotions, and we get very, very wrapped up. Fear, even though it's a creation of ourselves, it is very much real when we're facing it, okay? So the astral plane, emotions. These are very much part of reality connection, right? Your emotional state can affect your physical well-being, right? And if you want to calm your emotions, a physical response can start to calm your emotions. This is connected. The next plane is the mental plane. Here again is some confusion, right? So the mental plane is what we think of, course, of mind. And again, there's a connection, right? Our emotions are really just a reflection of the quality of our thoughts. When we're having troubled thoughts, we have troubled emotions, and vice versa. And that, again, travels down to the physical body. At the higher vibrations, just like we have states of matter in the physical realm, at the higher levels of the mental realm, we have what's called the causal body, which still isn't spirit, though we can tend to think of it as spirit. Again, it's connected, so that things that happen in this energetic kind of higher vibration or frequency of the mental body travels down to the rest of the body. So that's hence the term cause. Okay, it's a very powerful way to work with energy healing, and has been done for years. When we're working at faster vibrations, reconnective healing, for example, works at a faster vibration than this. We start going up into higher planes. And the next plane is the Buddhi plane. Okay, think like Buddha, Buddhi. And this is one of the realms of spirit. Okay, spirit actually has straddles three realms, three levels. The bottom part of your spirit is the causal body. Okay, hooking into the highest of the mental, through the Bodhi plane, and into the next plane, the lower part of the next plane, okay, of Atman. That threefold part is your ego in the spiritual sense, your soul, the part that reincarnates, okay, the part that remains constant, that's the inner soul, spirit, you. So when we're raising vibration, we're going up into these spirit realms, okay? The goal isn't to escape again, but the goal is to be connected to all that, okay? Now the next highest realm, where we just touched the first part, that fifth plane, is the Atma. Now this is our highest possibility as human beings. This is where awareness comes from, awareness in the enlightenment spiritual sense, nirvana, okay? And also wanted to stress that in the Bodhi plane and in the Atman, these are levels above the mental plane. They are beyond our mental capabilities to understand. When we insist on trying to understand everything with the mind, we're doomed before we start. We have to learn to experience things, to be aware, okay? So I started with the example of the physical body. There are things that your physical body just knows without the help of your mind, right? It's that way too. There are things that your spirits selves just know, and not the help of your mind. We tend to think of our thoughts as us. Your thoughts are not necessarily you. Your thoughts are part of you, but we tend to strictly identify with them. No, step away from your thoughts. This is what meditation does, right? Your thoughts are over here, you're over here, you know? If your thoughts are spinning, just stand over here and watch those silly things spin for a while, right? You really are separate from them. Even if you have trouble meditating, go, geez, I just can't stop my thought. You're aware of your thoughts as something different than you, right? Okay, so in this sense, when we're talking about raising our vibration, we're talking about increasing an awareness up through higher levels that doesn't escape, or at least it shouldn't, but includes the physical. If we just try to escape, that's an ego at work. So instead of trying to work, oh, I'm only at the physical, I have no spirituality, so it's like, oh, I'm all spirit and I deny the physical, this is not better. This is just a problem going in the other direction, okay? The point is to have all that working together. So this is what I mean when I say raising vibration. To have those three parts of you, those 5 parts of you, okay? That spectrum, in the same way that there's an electromagnetic spectrum, to have those working coherently. They're not in parts. It's not like this part's here, but this parts aren't really connecting. You know, in your car, the fuel injection system has to work well. The exhaust system has to work well. A whole lot of things have to work well. Not just some of them, and they have to work well in conjunction with the other parts, or there's a problem. You are exactly the same. All these different parts have to work well in conjunction with each other, or there's a problem. Okay? Now, by the way, the top half of the Atman is the smallest portion of divine manifestation. Okay? We as humans, we reach up to the Atman. From there we have a connection. So the very highest plane would be pure divine essence. The second one is the beginning of energy, forms in an energy sense. Okay? And those manifesting as the top half. So literally that's the threefold elements of the divine that many cultures and traditions talk about, and that just reaches the top of our highest potential. Literally, the divine is beyond our understanding. We can just be aware of that connection. Okay? But that too, we want working all the way through. In the reconnection, we go through your energy strand by strand, point by point, okay? The reason it so rapidly raises your vibration, the reason it so rapidly picks you up and puts you on your life path is that connection all the way through yourself into the divine is working the way it's supposed to. Total allowing, okay? Without the blocks. Usually mental blocks, but emotional and physical blocks, and sometimes spiritual blocks as well. Our goal then in raising vibration is not to be superior spiritually. Our goal is to be aware, okay? To be able to go into that plane where we understand kind of the majesty of being. We understand the assimilation of opposites. We understand things just as they are and how incredible that is. And nature is a good way to understand that. We understand that nature is beautiful and awesome and nurturing and caring and terrible and uncaring and cruel and deadly. And we don't say nature is bad for that. We understand this is part of the grandeur of nature. This is also the totality of the grandeur of being, of the majesty of being. Okay? So, really, when we talk about raising vibration, what we're really talking about is a coherence of vibration. So, not so much escaping, but yes, being aware, but being able to have that awareness in all things. So that we have thoughts that are in harmony with awareness. We have spirit that's in harmony with that awareness. We have emotions and physical experiences that are in harmony with that awareness, okay? With the now, with all that is, with oneness. It's at these higher levels, I think everything is connected, right? And if our awareness only goes up so far, think of us like fingers sticking down, right? If our awareness only goes up so far, you know, this finger doesn't realize it's part of this finger and part of this finger. But it's only a question of awareness, right? With that awareness, we're all one, okay? So, my suggestion if you're looking for raising your vibration on your own is slow down, okay? It's not a race. Awareness is the perfect word, I think. But if you work with me, for example, in the Reconnective Journey, this is exactly what we do. We start by looking at the physical world. There are 1,000 clues in the physical world about your inner being, okay? About what is around you, about what is going on with you. And you can use that just like a meter, like a gauge, to go, okay, here's the problem, here's the problem, here's the problem to fix. Here's what's going well, here's what's going well. And working through that thoroughly. Most people, when they work through raising the vibration programs, various spiritual programs, they work on parts, you know. They work on the fuel injection, they work on the exhaust, and not on the coherence of the whole. And then once that's in place, then we'll look at the emotions from a standpoint of strength and not simply what's going on with my emotions, right? Our emotions, again, are signs. They're indications. And we can, instead of going, oh my God, I feel this way, we can look at them and go like, okay, what is my gauge showing me? And then we can use that emotion to better understand, okay, here are the problems, here's what to do about them. And then we can go into the mind, okay, from that, again, from that continual standpoint of strength. This is going to raise your vibration and your coherence simultaneously, okay? See the awareness, see the coherence, and then we look at what's going on with my thoughts, and now we can start to notice instead of react, okay? And then we can read that gauge and we can respond appropriately. And then, now that we've learned to be aware and not simply attached, we have a basis beyond mind for understanding spirit, the Buddhi plane, okay? And we can experience this very directly. There are lots of ways that we can do this, okay? Just not through our thought process. And then, once we understand the spirit realm, where we have all this working together, we now can understand awareness. It is easier than you think, okay? You can in fact, if you take the Reconnective Journey program, you're going to have moments of awareness, at least small ones here and there, and they'll come closer to closer. But once you've touched it, you'll understand it. That's really the key. Once you've touched it, you'll understand, okay? You know, it's much easier to duplicate things once you know what you're looking for. And then the question becomes, now that I have this total awareness, how do I go back into my daily life and plan in a way that uses this appropriately? And that's the next important step. And that's the last part of what we have the program. I hope this helps, and happy vibration raising. Namaste.